2 p.m. is it? And you're up already. Oh my God.
No, I don't get up that late anymore.
Yeah.
No. Well, I'm not working. I used to work till fucking, you know,
By
2
the
in the
time you
morning.
get home, it would be like.
Yeah, I know. And then back in the old days, you know,
Back home.
party on. Here's the thing. I actually like my job, and
yeah.
But if I had enough cash to never have to work again, I could easily even give up that too. I'm like,
yeah.
And I never understand these people who are kind of famous actors or something, and then they have a real big hit. They make millions and millions of dollars, and then they get depressed that their career doesn't go anywhere. And I think, oh, why? Who cares, mate? Just go.
Yeah. Did you think about I thought so many times when you hit, like, even if you beat, then you need to beat yourself, and you get depressed because you can't beat yourself, because you need to go further than Oscars or whatever. Get the it just never.
I don't know why you just don't go, oh, you know, buy an island, get your mates. Come on.
Yeah.
What do you
get pissed?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. What are you doing today? Hanging around?
Nothing.
Go for a swim.
Go for a swim, do anything. Just, I know. I can't believe, you know, it's never enough, isn't it?
Oh.
Never enough.
No. It's never enough.
Are you in Manchester at the moment?
I'm near Scotland. I'm near Edinburgh at the moment, in Scotland, not near Scotland.
No way. Oh, wow. Yeah. Are you staying with a friend or?
Yeah, 2 comedians, a woman here, a Scottish woman, she's about my age, she does comedy, she's great, and a younger guy about 30, they're both great, it's excellent. I didn't really know them before this, I sort of knew them, didn't know them. And then they had a room and came here, they're great, they're really cool, so.
Wow.
Although I don't know how long I'm going to be here either, so.
Yeah.
Because of all this rubbish that's going on, you know.
Yeah. How is it in Scotland now with this?
Well, I don't listen to the narrative, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
You can't work that out.
Yeah.
I'm at a loss. It's almost like listening to that, you know, that Yuri Bezmenov guy. You ever seen him? It's an interview from 1984 with the Russian guy.
Yes.
He talks about the 4 stages of the demoralization and the.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's almost like a fortune teller, because it's just ridiculous. Like, you will not be able to tell these people, even if you show them to their face. Once they have gone past the demoralization stage, they can no longer comprehend facts. And you're like,
but you were similar in a way. Like, how many years ago? I watched your gigs, right? You were saying the things that are happening right now.
Oh, no.
It's amazing. I couldn't stop watching your stuff, you know, because I'm like, oh my God, you know, what's happening today is like exact. And back then, if you called it a conspiracy theory, right? Like, well, it's no longer a conspiracy theory because it has happened, isn't it?
Well, it was very easy for me, and I'm not a clever guy, like educated, or which I don't always equate with being clever or fucking intelligent either, right?
Yeah.
But it was, you know, I don't know the complexities of politics on that level of like these, you know, people with those brains that can just remember everything, you know, like you're listening to.
Yeah.
If you're listening to Noam Chomsky or something, it's like this brain, or Christopher Hitchens, this brain that just holds. Well, in 1972, on page 6 of the New York Times, on paragraph 4, was like, you know. But you know, as soon as anyone introduced.
Do you watch Zizek? Slavoj Zizek.
Slavoj Zizek. Well, I read his books years ago. You know what's very funny? Hang on, I'll make my point, then we'll get on to that guy. Right? My point was simply this: as soon as they introduced the word offence, hate, and law together, well, is that not a fucking red flag?
That's it. Yeah.
Right? Excuse me. Hate. Hate.
Yeah.
You've and offence. not abuse.
Yeah.
Not, you know, a violent act that can be held to account in objective law.
Yeah.
But offence, which means what? Well, there's no proof of anything happened. Is there? You just say you're offended. Right, but at the end of the story, where's the dead body? Where's the broken into house? Where's the missing car? There's nothing. There's just a subjective void of an accusation, and you don't think. And what do you do when you start to then bring a pot? Oh, women are oppressed, gays are oppressed, Muslims are oppressed, immigrants are oppressed, the disabled are oppressed. Now transgenders have been some of the spate of transgender bashing we've been hearing about for generations. Oh, what? They just came out of the blue. Oh, they're oppressed, right? Yeah. Now, if you've got people who are not very wise and unconscious to their nature, like all of us, because we're all programmed, and we've all been asleep for thousands of years. I'm not some overlord who's, you know. Yeah. But if you poke the button of victimhood and you give that ideology then power, well, what's one of the first, and you egg it on with oppression and victimhood, well, what's going to be the first things they want? Vengeance.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Vengeance. So now, and then they find, and then the narrative normalizes the idea of vengeance into bravery. You know, bravery and getting the problem sorted out. Yeah, the irony being, if they went to therapy, which many of them should do, like most people in the world, for at least a start, right? If they went to therapy, do you think the therapist would be going, yes, I think the best way to deal with this issue with your mother is to get into vengeance? Right? Non-forgiveness and vengeance.
Yeah.
What?
Common sense, you know, common sense.
Common fucking sense, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's, you know, when it comes to, you know, see, me and you grew up with things like what? Manners. Right? Which doesn't mean that because when these left-wingy PC woke people demand an apology, never apologize to them because they have no desire for an apology. They don't accept, they're not forgiving. All they're after is an admittance of guilt from their accusation. Yeah. Right. And then they lord it over you with threats of your livelihood or your reputation. Yeah. You know, they're nothing but terrorists and fucking fascists and communists. It's what they are. They're the bastard children of this demonic ideology, which has been slowly infected through the institutions of the West since the end of World War II. And now you're seeing the harvest. It's almost like in the Greeks when they had that Trojan horse. Yes. They snuck the Trojan horse in, and the Greeks instead. This has been a psychological Trojan horse. It is even worse. Even worse, which has come in. Yeah. Which has come in over decades to infiltrate societies, and now your own people have sided with the enemy. Now they're against their own tribe. Yes. And they're against the institutions of their own tribe and their own cultures. They're against the traditions of their own cultures. They're against their own identity. Yeah. Yeah. As they've been coated with a morality that they're somehow saving the world. Why? Because of and you just use the patriarchy and the white man as the overlord, you know, oppressor. While they demand even things such as microcosmic things as what do they call it when just because you're white you're somehow racist, because it's a subconscious bias. You know what? They're searching for racist ghosts in the collective unconscious. Yeah. It makes you become one. Like, Steve, I never thought I was like similar to Martin Luther King. What he said, I posted this and it was taken down because the fact checker said it was wrong. He never said it, which is bullshit. He did say it. He said, I don't separate people between like black and white. It's good and bad people, you know. You have idiots everywhere. He goes like, I don't separate people by religion, you know. And same here. But the moment you go, like, if you are not with them, you are against them, automatically you have to take their stand. I thought I was leftist 20 years ago.
now I'm not, I'm right wing in a way. Like I'm not, but I'm sitting on the fence. I don't know where I am because
I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. As I said, I never had any political.
Yeah.
I never got into politics with the complexity. I never really used to even understand what left and right wing was. I didn't even know that there was left wing newspapers. All I knew that when I grew up,
yeah,
a part of my nature or my soul, perhaps, right, was that I got somehow born in the 60s in Australia, and and these people run around Australia now, it's so racist. Why don't you come back to the 70s, 60s, 50s and show you some fucking racism, right? And so,
yes.
And so all I ever knew that I wasn't racist.
Mm.
The vile Aboriginal jokes you would hear as a child in the 70s were just offensive to me. And I'm the big don't get offended guy, but I'll tell you, they were fucking offensive because they weren't jokes.
Yeah.
They were vile attacks disguised as jokes. Right?
Yeah.
But they weren't even disguised because they were so vile. Right. Right. It wasn't comedy. It was ignorance and projection of shame and disgust at a conquered people.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I didn't care if you were gay. I hung around artists and musicians my whole life. Artists, musicians, know those people, actors, gays and lesbians and outlier people, right? Yeah. Outsider people.
Yeah.
Because I knew metalheads and punks and goths, and then I would end up in hippie festivals sometimes for 3 weeks, meet that lot. They're outlier people, right? And so I don't understand these people because they're now, we were happy to not be accepted.
Yes.
Right. We don't want your approval.
Yeah. Right.
And I was just a young kid then, and now I even understand the things I didn't understand about conservatism and stuff. Right. Yeah. Right? But it's a requirement. Because it keeps things balanced sometimes. You can't just give human beings a free-for-all. That's an orgy.
Yes.
And so yeah, I've just that's why I don't understand now because they're constantly saying well, the system itself within the West, because they're so demoralized that they have no understanding of self-preservation. Right, because they think any kind of patriotism is nationalist right-wing Nazism.
Yeah.
right. Any kind of patriotism whatsoever. Because they don't understand the tribe. They've been so. See, they think they're being moral. Their own compassion and empathy and even evolved ideas that you can get on with everyone have been used against them to have their countries colonized. So people go, well, what's it matter if there's more fucking, someone put a post up yesterday, well, what's it matter if there's, more Pakistani people in England than English people? Why? You're scared of being a minority? Why? Do minorities get treated bad?
Yeah.
No, because that's colonialism.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? That's the deconstruction of an identity. That's genocide of the moral structures of the host nation. The host nation of England is English people.
Yes.
Be what has may with the English Empire and the karma they've racked up with that is a separate story, right? But the England is what? If I think of England, then there's what? Fish and chips and good comedy and shit beaches and uptight people or fucking what people fucking England, and it's fucking England, right? So do you want to now come to England? So is England if it's 70% Pakistani?
Yeah.
But they'll tell you it doesn't matter now because they'll tell you the multicultural Pakistanis, they'll go, what's English culture in these days? And they'll go, well, it's multiculturalism. But I guarantee you, anyone from Africa or India or Pakistan who's England goes home, they don't say, well, I'm multicultural, do they? They go, I'm Indian. And so they should. They are Indian. Pakistan, right?
Yeah.
But now with the multicultural thing, what? So who are these people? Well, they're Indian at the home, eating with their Indian food and their Indian smells and traditions and dance and that. I'm sure they have their blood is in India, isn't it? Like their mother's Indian, their father's perhaps Indian, or right? So they'd be Indian at home, wouldn't they? But no. Out in the legal world, or whatever it is now, it's multicultural.
Yes.
There is no identity. So it's like getting that Neapolitan ice cream that used to have chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla, and then mushing it up into a gloop and then going, there you go. That's what you can have now. Well, there's nothing, no borders, no boundaries, because borders and boundaries to the left are what? Well, oppression.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Any kind of border or boundary or tradition or something that's holding something in place.
Yeah.
Because they see anything that's holding something, not even understanding that even in the creation of art, what does a painter need? Well, he needs a canvas.
Yeah.
Because the canvas is the physical manifestation of where the ethereal can come to. So it needs structure to exist within this realm.
Yeah.
So until you give the painter a canvas, if he's just got the idea and a brush with no paint or canvas, then it stays here. This is the world of the left, subjective ideology, new ideas, perhaps ways to evolve, which are quite evolutionary or perhaps good for you, right? But they can never manifest it. Why? So where do they have to go? Well, you have to go to conservatives who can then put it into action.
Yeah.
Put it into place. But sometimes conservatives don't want to just be told they're fucking Nazis and they should let go of everything, because you don't know what happens when you pull some structures apart from the root in one go.
Yeah.
Right. What are you talking about? Nature abhors a vacuum, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If anyone would tell you, right? Well, something will fill it. And you little ideologues know what's going to fill it? No, you just know the utopia where everybody gets on and the horrible people have all gone away. It's utter insanity.
It is insanity.
Because and what is it? It's the biggest form. It's war. We're in war. Because I think, what kind of war have you managed? What a remarkable war where you've managed to convince your enemy that you're its friend, right? And not only its friend, but in this current situation, now its savior.
Yeah.
You're its savior, right? And now, because we've propagandized you up and demoralized you, as what's his name would say so much, you will actually now join us, and then you'll go against your own tribe who won't join us.
Yes.
And in this state of affairs, we've even got you to suicide yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said.
Not even a bullet.
Yeah.
Quiet, silent weapons for quiet wars.
It's clever, because this propaganda.
Oh, mate, it's fucking clever.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to give hats off.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's like a Second World War has started with propaganda. Someone asked me years ago, why are you saying propaganda? What do you mean? Well, this is what propaganda is. Mainstream media,
Mate, as I said, I grew up just being a headbanger guy playing music. I didn't study or listen to history or give a shit. I like heavy metal and playing drums and fucking, right? And then I like music, but I also started reading stuff because I was never going to go to university. But I realized, well, why would you have to? There's books everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I like that. How practical.
Yeah.
And well said, there are books everywhere.
Yeah, I know. And instead of being told which ones to get, I could just get whatever I want. I think I'll get the history of Satanism and the history of shamanism. Let's see what's going on here. So,
that's interesting. Yeah, I used to do the same. I like to pick the books that I liked. I didn't want to read what I was told to read, but I was always I was called stubborn, different, a troublemaker, but still they loved me, the teachers, because I was still kind of ambitious in a way, because I was reading. I would tell them what I read. Actually, I gave my teacher Milarepa. I had the book Milarepa. You know who he is. And she actually cried. That was the guy Milarepa. He was some of these, was butchering himself to become enlightened. And today I'm so glad I don't have a little child to send to school to call to tell me about transgender. I don't think I would digest that very well, and that I would
no
send to school like just get effed, you know. There's no way.
It's fucking mate, it's absolutely
disgusting.
You know, it's disgusting. It's a fucking satanic ritual.
Yeah. You know, this is why I love Douglas Murray, because he, as a gay guy, to see it from his perspective, I have lots of gay people, like friends, you know, that I know. I worked with them for years, but they're also against this shit, you know. Because,
mate, I was talking to my friend the other day, and I said, imagine how hard it is for the gay people and that who are like, would you shut up?
Yeah.
Would you just shut up? I mean, it was getting better. Plus, you know, just what do you want to be in the spotlight for?
Yeah. Ego.
Like just shut up. I've got this joke. I go, well, you ruined the gays for me. Because, you know, I used to go to parties when I used to party on, and I used to think, oh, you know, it's boring. I'm not very good at socializing with boring people. And then the gays would turn up. I'd be like, thank God.
Yes.
Right? There's well-dressed men with wit and drugs. Thank God.
Yeah.
Now, you know, one accidental drop of the word fag, and there's crying and pickets and threats of police, and it's
yeah. You just can't be yourself. You can't talk to anyone. You can't. You're not free, actually, in a way. You really are not free, because it's a policing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, here's what's so funny. You know, I'm not even confused by it, because here's what I find. You know, do I know everything that's going on in the world?
Yeah.
Right. Of course I fucking don't. Right.
Yeah.
No man, any man that walks up and goes, oh, I know everything. Well, you know, of course I don't. But I find this fascinating.
Yeah.
that there's people I know who I'm watching, you know, how they're dealing with what's going on presently. And now, you know, the mask has been ripped from their face. I realize that they're just pods connected to the matrix. Right? People I've known all my life that I thought, but we've never seen people we've thought we've known all our lives in a situation like this.
Yeah.
We've seen them at parties and chatting about this, and we might go over there and we talk and we had dinner with them, and well, but you haven't seen them like this. And here it is. And what's so funny is I've known some of these people 30, 40 years. Now, as I said before, do I know everything in the world? No, but I've fucking read a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
For 30 fucking years. Right, on everything that I didn't, you know, from Satanism to shamanism to religion to conspiracy theories to interdimensional draconian lizard people to Buddhism to health to psychiatry to psychology to money to Babylonian to Sumerians to black nobilities to conspiracy theory deep under to NASA to I've had breakdowns myself. I've walked through the valley of the deep shadow of death. I've met shamans and gone on trips and done all this stuff, and now I'm dealing with people who I know have been watching footy, doing yoga, going to have lunch with Brendan and Sue every Wednesday, talking to mum, watching telly, just doing stuff. Right, but now they know that everything I know is not true, even though they don't know what I know.
Yes.
And yet they go, and I can tell the ones who do, they go, just because you've watched a couple of YouTube videos. No, you're the one who's watched a couple of YouTube videos. I've read thousands of books.
But Steve, don't you think that's kind of inbuilt? That's I find that some people, I was thinking about that actually watching your stuff last few weeks, and I thought to myself, that is in your probably blueprint, that you are some people they are either born like that or not. Like your IQ is your IQ regardless if you go to a private school, people like yourself, public school, right? And who recognize this stuff naturally. I think this is prior to reading your books. Okay, you were attracted to these books because they,
I know what you're saying. I agree with you entirely. I'll tell you something, you know, because you don't like to blow your own trumpet. It's like when I was in bands. I'll tell you this now, right? I always thought it. I never told anyone, right? When I was growing up, what are you going to say? Right? When I was in bands all those years, I knew I was the only one like me.
Yeah.
I knew the others didn't see it.
Yeah.
They didn't want it like me. They didn't, it wasn't infused in their, you know, like it's, and that was just music. They didn't see things. They didn't, and I used to think when I was young, you just, none of you feel it like me.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm not showing off. I can just fucking tell.
That's it.
Yeah. Right. Like you know, it's, and I was with some good guys, made some good bands, guys who have got talent, not lack of talent, not.
Yeah.
And some have got the artistic streak, but
yeah.
And I met more over the years who I like, but when I was younger,
yeah,
especially when I was starting to try and make bands, and I get guys in bands, and it's just no, you haven't got that fucking you know?
That's interesting. Yeah. I
you know, and it's maybe it is, you know, I've gotten in more of this because, you know, like reincarnation was something, obviously, if you're reading things like non-dualism and Buddhism or anything, it's coming up, aren't they? Well, they're in everything anyway. They're in cosmic Christianity and all those religions, and, you know, the idea of rebirth, and it's even sewn into nature, isn't it? And just life, right?
Yeah. So
does it extend beyond the grave, you know, which to me now seems like, yes, I don't see how it couldn't. There's too many. Now I'm starting to understand it. Well, why they're going, you know, be more holy on earth. Why? Because when the body dies, you don't want those activities and memories left in its cells, because it attaches itself to the realm. You know, I've had to deal with, you know, I think my big one is sex somehow. I don't get sex. I've never really got sex, but there's lust in me. You know what I mean? And now it's like, and it's like, and I'm Scorpio, 5 planets, so maybe that's all underworld and that side, you know. So, but I've always had issues with women. I don't get women. I don't talk well with women. I don't.
Yeah.
The good thing about this Me Too movement is no one's got nothing on me, because I've never made a move on fucking anyone.
Maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah, took me ages to make a move on women who would go out with me. So, you know.
It's a good thing, maybe. I actually was talking to someone the other day about relating. It was interesting. We talked about relationships, you know, because she mentioned some issues or whatever. And I said to her, like, oh, there was a guy, no, actually my personal trainer. And he goes, it's always like that, you know. I said, it starts off always, you are always good, you know, before you meet, you catch up with each other, like you see each other once a week, and then you're moving together. And the first meal is who's going to wash the dishes, and the trouble starts, you know. And, you've done this to me, you haven't washed this properly, and rah, you know, and then expectations happen. And it's really every marriage, every relationship is like that, you know. Some people are more like both give a little bit, but sometimes, you know, if one is more stubborn, another one, you know, probably, okay, I'll just put up with it, but they're miserable. You know how they said here in Australia, you get less for, you know, for murder. You get less for murder, like, because
well, you know, I mean, and especially today, I mean, what, you know, especially today, in the sense of, you know, everyone's out of control. They've got no understanding of themselves, or they're waking up to that. But, you know, there's a great guy called Michael E. Jones, is he? He would probably get called anti-Semitic because he does lots of stuff about Jewish history and stuff. But he does great stuff about just the spiritual destruction through the sexual revolution of the 60s, just the way. And I can't quote any of it because I haven't studied enough. But it's brilliant.
Michael Jones, did you say?
I think it's Michael E. Jones, something like that. E. Michael Jones, something like that. Something that's.
I'll check him out.
But it's a great, you know, breakdown of what goes on within the psyche and the.
Yeah.
It's just, it is. It becomes like just an orgiastic feast. I mean, if you're going to be dealing with people's lower base chakra level and their traumatized psycho mind,
yeah,
you kind of got them, haven't you?
Yeah. I don't know. Do you watch that guy Ben Shapiro? I just started watching him a bit because
I like.
Yeah, did you see?
When I watch Ben Shapiro, I go, okay, well, me and you would disagree on many things.
Yeah.
But you know, he's got one of those minds which I envy.
Yeah.
You know,
he's different.
I don't know if envy's not a great spiritual thing to get into, but you know what I mean. He's got one of those. But the guy was playing cello at 4 years old or something. You know, he's gone through the rigor.
Okay.
You know, I think he's been bred to be like that.
Yeah.
Like, he's
interesting character. Yeah. I've just discovered him like probably a couple of months ago, with that Gina Carano thing. Yeah. You know, Gina Carano, the actress. Like speaking of cancel culture, she was booted out of, she was the Mandalorian, the movie. So she said something that they did not like about the Jews, how they were not hated by the Nazis only, but they were hated by their neighbors as well. And that was big. They took her off. They actually sacked her from the set, so she lost the job. She's one of these. She fights in UFC, whatever they call it. And she's a really good-looking girl, and but apparently she speaks her mind, and she didn't post Black Lives Matter. Ben Shapiro had her on his thing, so that's why I know about him, just because of her. So anyway.
Yeah, well, you know, Ben Shapiro's, you know, he's got a mind, that guy.
Yeah, but I like Douglas Murray, to be honest. Jordan Peterson, I agree with, like, he's brave, and we need probably someone like him, I reckon, but I don't agree with everything probably he says, but it's
well,
good.
See, that's the thing I've worked out as I've gotten older. What? Well, I is every man right about everything? No.
Exactly. Yeah.
But in your gut and your heart, you know, sometimes you might be tricked. It's tricky. There's disinformation agents out there everywhere. Who fucking knows? You know, it's a psychological war battleground.
Yeah.
You know, you learn that early on. Maybe some of these people that are getting upset if their friends are conspiracy theorists now is because when you first discover it, if you've got an uncomfortable feeling about the world, I always did. I mean, when I was young, going, what? So I go to school, which is boring and stupid, so that I can then work in a factory, because I'm not qualified for anything, right? I come from a highly dysfunctional family. I'm not trained to do anything. I'm a mess. I was just an emotional, destroyed mess let out into the world. Right. So it's like no fucking grounding, no, you know.
Yeah.
And then in Australia,
it's
not always a bad thing.
No.
It's just what it is.
Yeah.
Right? And you know, it brings you. It has brought me bad things which I've dealt with badly.
Yeah.
Like everybody's got their fucking bag of stuff or whatever they're dealing with, right? You know.
Yeah.
So some worse than others in the sense of what they are, and then. But then if you look at it from other deeper perspectives of metaphysics and so forth and whatever, or if that's the right word, but spirituality, which becomes, and that gets in the realm of what is this your soul contract? Is this your karma? Is this? So now when you keep going, now you'll have to go, well, I've had 4 boyfriends and they keep beating me up. Well, you should take a look at yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
Why are you getting boyfriends who beat you up? No, but they've tricked everybody. They've tricked everybody into just going, people who beat their girlfriends up shouldn't exist. Yeah, but they do. They do exist.
They do. And you are attracted to them as well.
Yeah, and you're attracted to them. Right?
Yeah.
That's a good point. Right.
They'll stop having boyfriends.
But when you've turned everybody's mind into this weird, self-important, narcissistic psychodrama, they just want to cancel out reality. Because I always use this expression: you could have been in Belfast in the 70s or something and been a Protestant and said, "Can I walk down that street?" And they go, "Well, that's a Catholic street." And if you could go, "Well, I have the right to walk down that street," well, go ahead. right. what we're trying to point out to you here is how to have self-preservation about a reality, like animals do. When certain animals go, well, we don't drink at the water pool at night because the alligators bite our heads off.
Yeah.
So we wait till dawn. we don't go, alligators shouldn't bite our heads off at night. We have the right to drink at the pool. Now, obviously, human beings have consciousness that's apparently more advanced than animals. So, Steve, they could come up with you, yes, but we can make our situation better. And that takes self-responsibility.
Yes. Yeah.
By going, why do I keep attracting men who beat me up?
You know what I call it?
Because you would have got, because if you'd gone out with me, I wouldn't ever have beat you up because I've never beat any chicks up because I grew up in the world of going, well, who would beat chicks up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because other men would go, you beat chicks up? You hit a girl?
Yeah.
See, these people don't understand that side of men world because they've never been men. Do they think other men aren't judging men who hit women?
Mm.
You think you're looking good to your mates because you're hitting chicks?
Makes you more a man.
Yeah. Like all your mates are going, yeah, mate, totally. No, they're going, what the fuck is going on with this guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Someone's got to sort Barry out.
Yeah.
He's hitting chicks.
Yeah.
Right.
I just call it, you said this human consciousness, I call it unreasoning capacity. Like this is, again, from probably non-duality perspective, you know, they like this is what the difference is between animals and people. Like we have reasoning capacity, but I call it, we have unreasoning capacity. And this is why this behavior, Gary's like, if you seriously, you said it so well, when you watch these animals, how they behave, you don't want to go into a trouble like deliberately. Like, why would you do that? Because they haven't recognized they have some trouble somewhere. There's a weakness. They have some personal unresolved issues. To form a group called feminist, to be against the guys. So all of this pro-vaccine, anti-vaccine, left, right, it's all separation. It's another fight, it's another suffering. And all these people, instead of looking there, if they looked here, and like point your finger at yourself and solve, that's the only way to solve the problem. You know,
right, totally.
And you know this as a comedian, lots of comedians, I have friends, comedians who would just drink themselves, you know, out of like their brains, but to perform. Then, really, would you rather come, like, I understand you're doing that, probably you have fear from performing, how I'm going to perform, if I'm going to remember the words. But then if you come from that, I don't know, yourself, and lots of actors do this, like really wise actors. And they come from the perspective of the silence or emptiness from themselves, like from their true nature. That's whatever comes out of you, it just simply comes out of you. There's no filter. I feel it when you speak, that there's no filter. You're just funny because you speak with no filter. That's what I feel when I watch you perform. I don't know, you know, I mean, I would like to ask you this question because this is how I see it.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And I always tell these comedians, see, some young comedians, when they see someone like Bill Hicks or Lenny Bruce or Bill Hicks or me or someone, sometimes they mistakenly think, oh yeah, I want to shock people. No, you don't, right? You want to make them laugh. Yeah. You're a comedian, right? Get that down first.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Get that bit down, you know.
Yeah.
Drinking and taking drugs on stage, I've never I've drunk and take drugs, believe me. But never on stage in band or comedy, except one night in Edinburgh at 3 a.m. when we did some gig. We've already taken drugs and just went on stage and but I've never needed drugs for being on stage or booze, because I came from the world of heavy metal where I thought, I was like so into metal, I was like, no, metal is what metal fucking takes me on stage, you know, like the heart.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to cloud this with drugs and booze. This is from the heart, you know. Yeah. So I clouded my emotional life with drugs and booze, but that's another story.
Yeah, that's weird. Most of us did, I presume.
That's why I was so into the fucking music.
Yeah.
Or one part of it.
One part of it.
Yeah.
Did you mostly, you played drums and you played bass, did you?
No, I just played drums, and then I've done an album, you know, in the last few years that I just did everything on it. I'm not a great guitarist or anything. I just wrote songs that I can play. You know?
Okay, I like it.
But I know what you're talking about in the sense of, I'll tell you, this is what I tell these young comedians when they go, you know, how do you do that stuff? And
yeah.
I don't know how other guys decided to do it. I'll tell you how I did it. Because I came from underground heavy metal.
Yeah.
Where when it started, you know, and even now, you know, there's stuff in there that's either, you know, occultish or it can be satanic or it can be just violent. Right? It's, you know, the lyrics, especially in the 80s when it first started, suddenly the bands became more, like the lyrics became violent. And to me, it was like this, and occultic and stuff. And some of it was just theatrical Satanism and all this kind of stuff. But it was like this freedom.
Mm.
Even though what I'm talking about, here's what's funny being an artist, is this can also be used to demoralize your society. But it was very underground, right? But coming from that world, which is kind of do what you want.
Yeah.
I always just kind of carried that. I didn't know that you didn't, as an artist, you didn't do what you want.
Mm.
Isn't that what you do?
Yeah, exactly. That's why you're artists. Yeah.
Right. So I never thought that, oh, I better do this so I can, you know, shock the people, or, you know, it
I
pissed
never
me
had
off.
that. It never came across to me like that. Like when I watch you.
No.
Funny.
I always say people know I'm funny. Yeah, people laugh, but they know I'm not joking.
Yeah. That's good. It's a good one.
Yeah, that's how it is. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but you know.
But it's
so
still
people
fun.
say to me now. See, I do things like that, and people go, "Well, you anti-feminist, Steve." I was just going, "Well, yeah." Who isn't? Right. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. And that's another thing. People like really, they laugh when they hear someone being, you know, honest. They find it fun. They actually get shocked at first, and then they start laughing because they don't know if you're serious or not, or not. But you know, because it's so
well,
to be honest.
Well, comedy is what? How would I describe it? There's probably people who can describe it better than me. But
yeah,
how would I describe it? I mean, it's different things. Sometimes stand-up's just lighthearted. Guys who go, you know what happens when you're on the bus and you do this and that happens, and we can all laugh at it, right? I mean, it's good. Yeah, it's funny. I'm not going, all comedians should be fucking like. I'm just like, you know, Michael McIntyre probably gets hassled. He's mainstream as hell, but he makes me laugh.
Yeah,
you know, he makes me laugh. I knew the guy since he started. He made people laugh from the start.
Yeah.
You know, he turned up on the comedy circuit, was fucking made people laugh. I saw it from the start. Other comics get the shits. Who's this guy? Well, that guy's kicking ass. That's who that guy is.
Yeah.
And to tell you one thing, here's what I like about McIntyre is when he's got 10,000 people there. Now, these are pretty mainstream people.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, mainstream people are hard to make laugh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because they don't think about much.
Mm.
Now, I don't want to be arrogant saying they don't think about much, like they're all fucking stupid. What I'm talking is about, you know, I've been in entertainment 35 years. You know, when I went from metal world to comedy world, I thought I was in front of mainstream people because they weren't covered in spikes and Slayer shirts. Right?
Yeah.
But I realized they're not. There's a mainstream.
Yeah.
Right? Right? Those people don't go anywhere they're not told.
Mm.
They just don't. I'm not knocking them. They don't. They sit around, you know. I've known these people. They're not that into music. They're not that into movies. They're not that, you know, they're not. See, I know people who are into music, who it's like their life, and they've collected things, and it's like, then they've got thousands of albums, and they know who produced it and who. But some people are like, oh, you know, I've got 12 CDs. The ones they told me to get. This song's all right. You know, yeah, right, yeah, right. Like this comedian's all right, right? But they have no connection to it.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So, and sometimes, to tell you the truth, they're not very creative people. They're not imaginative. Because I've gigged in front of them, and I can tell when I've got a crowd of them, who, when my jokes are a bit weird, they don't get. Not even weird, just sometimes an element of you know, shifting perception, or that they don't. I can feel the psychology in the room.
Yeah. Yes.
The joke goes out and goes.
Yes. Yeah.
And they sit there like a dog getting shown a card trick. It's almost like it's like an algorithm has come in and doesn't compute. Like they have no mechanism of response. And I don't care if you sit there and think I'm being judgmental. I've done thousands of gigs in front of thousands of people. I fucking know.
Yeah.
I can sometimes tell if a crowd will laugh before the first act goes on by the way they're talking in the room. How much psychic energy is in the room.
Yeah.
How they're talking to one another, right? Are they talking freely, or are they also trying to... Sometimes you'll get in there and you can feel the room. The first act goes on and it's on, they're in. Right? Yeah, right. Now it's symbiotic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other nights, you say the words go out, they hit nothing, they fall to the floor, the dualism's back. You say the words, it goes out, it hits the heads, it falls to the floor, the wall is there. If you're a surfer, this would be a flat ocean. You'd be there on a board, just might as well be at the local pool. You know?
Yeah. Is it cultural thing, Steve?
No, I've got jokes about it. Sometimes it's just what happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. The moon's out, something happens, they all come together.
Yeah.
And then jokes that you've made 450 people nearly wet themselves the night before don't go anywhere.
It's interesting. Tony Parsons, when I went to see him actually, and we had a chat, and he told me, he said, some people are just receptive more. Some people are just in their heads. Like he would go to, like, I don't know, he would go to Amsterdam, and they would just be more in their heads or whatever. Or they would just, oh, I know, but they would just, I know better sometimes. But he goes, in Germany, they're very receptive in Germany. That's what he said to me. Yeah, that's why I was like, I wasn't sure, because I know when I hang out with people, and people, they just like, you know, they can't think outside of the box. There is no, you can hit them with the brick. It doesn't go through, you know. In the ways, it's just about the money, house, money, mortgage. That's it. You know,
it's
yeah.
I know. It's. And so, of course, you know, the information we know, I don't sit here anymore in a kind of judgment. Yeah. It's just reality. It's just what is. So if I looked at it from evolution of souls or something, who knows? Who knows? Yeah. What's going on? You know, maybe they're a mirror of the great unconscious state we're in. Like they've chosen to come here to be so unconscious that you have to wake up. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You know, like we just happen to be these ones that happen to come in for some reason. Oh God. Right. Right. So why why couldn't I have got born in 1945 and just gone through till now? Then I could be getting out of here. But that was a good period
the best.
in the West.
The best.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So but yeah. No, well, that's what I mean. Like so, I mean, people don't know what they don't know. You don't know what you don't know, right?
Yes,
right?
True. Yeah.
So it's just funny though when as I said before, when there's people I know. Well, here's the thing of my comedy. You know, some guys, oh, I want to do comedy like that. I go, do you? Because you know, I'm actually. Why does it come across real for me? Because I'm actually into it.
Yeah.
I am concerned they're bombing 1 million fucking Iraqis to death when that started. It's highly upsetting to me. You know it's a lie. You know it's a fucking lie. It's a filthy, demonic lie.
Yeah.
Right? So if you think, well, I'd like to talk about it, but really I just go home and play video games. And then I want to go out there and be shocking. Well, you're just fake. You're just like a fake pop band, aren't you? You're just a happy meal. You know, like you're nothing. Like you. I don't know many artists that aren't happy meals, to tell you the truth. It's getting to that point, but just be honest. I mean, I don't know many that won't sell out.
Yeah. True.
Like if they get so bad that they go, you can't do your comedy anymore, Steve, I go, okay. Not in the sense of acquiescence, in the sense of just because what am I going to do if it just becomes what I can't? Well, I go, okay, I'm not going to hold on to it, like, because what would Buddhists say? Well, hold on to anything and you just set up suffering. So isn't that what they're always telling you?
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you're going to sit in dualism and set yourself up for being, what's that? There's a great Japanese Zen saying, isn't it? If you want to keep burning in hell, then refuse to let go of your life.
I never heard that.
Yeah, I hadn't heard it till recently. I went, that's fucking brilliant. But like,
that's brilliant.
Yeah. Do I understand what that means completely? Probably not in the sense of the conscious mind trying to fathom what he means, but I understand the fragrance. I have a, you know, I some people just think, what do you mean? If you used to get let go of your life, to just die. That's not what he means. It means that you were never. What he's telling you is you were never born anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. You didn't start.
Yeah,
so that's what's always funny too. And some people go, you know, when they get sarcastic and go, all right then, Steve, why don't you tell me what's going on?
Yeah.
Right. So, which is immediately no. Yeah. Because you know, you're a child.
Yeah.
Right. Now, even if you get one that's kind of interested, okay, I won't. You know, because some people's brains just can't.
No.
I mean, you don't think that I haven't read things that my belief system has come up and go, come on, Steve.
Yeah.
Right. What's this guy saying? That interdimensional lizard people come from this star thing, and right, is this what he's saying? But I don't go, what a fucking idiot. I go, well, I'm going to read it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read it. I don't have a judgment yet, but I can feel the judgment in me from the condition.
Yes.
How could this be real? It can't be real. It's fucking stupid. I mean, but that's the condition.
Yeah.
Right. But most people can't get over just what this guy said. Right. Well, he's not the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So so maybe I'll go and listen to some others. And you know, do you not think that there's a bunch of people in the middle of Ethiopia who don't think like you?
Yeah.
Like you don't think about other people in the world. Oh, we're going to vaccinate the whole world. Are you? Who said? Who the fuck are you? What, everyone?
Not everyone.
The Brazilians in the rainforest with their fucking spears still fucking killing monkeys with blow darts. Have you asked them? They're here, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably a bunch of Russian fucking gypsy people in the fucking forest of Siberia who are out there shamaning away.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Are you gonna ask them?
Yeah.
But you think you can stand there and go, well, we'll just do the whole world, and you people listen to this demon?
Mm.
That's where I'm lost, in the sense of where is your soul, your gut, your fucking heart? Where is your fucking dignity?
Yeah. Oh, there's no such a thing. Nah, they don't know it. It's a greed. I call it greed. Simple word. Greed. That's what it is. It's all profit. Yeah, or just some madness. Like I don't know what it is.
Oh, but I mean, the general public, where's their dignity? I mean, you can get into it. I mean, if you listen to some new non-dual stuff, then what? Well, you know, that's you know, you can sit there and go, what? Well, it's just watching Maya.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I understand how if you get into non-dualism at first, you could actually become quite a nihilist, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Where you just think, well, nothing exists, so it doesn't fucking matter and all this. And I'm like,
well, body's still in this, you know, it's alive. So there's aliveness there, there's energy, whatever in it.
Well, when I started to realize what it was when, or how I would look at it. Well, what it's the manifest and the unmanifest happening simultaneously. And so, or in Hinduism, don't they say it's Shiva and Shakti, right? The matter and the non-matter. And she tricked matter into getting until they became the dualism, right? And so, but then this is where I've gone beyond thinking, just thinking into understanding paradoxal thinking. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so it's all an illusion, perhaps, that you're manifesting sort of through which I can't, right? Yet it is also, so I say it's an illusion, but it's also divine.
Yeah.
It's divinity.
Mm.
It's divinity manifest.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, everything is divinity and is just functioning in creation, isn't it?
Yeah.
So in that sense, you could go that genocide is still divine, right? Because it's just simply an isness.
Yes.
In all its horror, trauma, destruction, chaos, and evil, right? It's, from one perspective, it's still just a manifestation, right?
Yeah.
Of stuff. It's like when Adyashanti said something, I like it. Just in the, you know, haven't you noticed that anything that comes up doesn't affect like the space?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's true. Nothing can, like Eckhart Tolle, like I used to read Eckhart, and he used to say, he said, any explosion that happens can be an atomic bomb. It doesn't touch the space, you know. That can't happen outside of the space. Everything happens in a space, you know, and you can't chop the space. You can't cut it. You can't burn it.
No. You
can't. Space is still there. If you burn this body, space will remain. If you burn the building, space will remain. And it happens in a space, you know.
Planes fly through the air, the space doesn't go. Just sits there.
Doesn't go.
And then when you get into these deep Indian mystics, they're even sitting there going, well, there's not even space.
Yeah.
Then it's like a whole fucking
space-like. Yeah, isness.
But you know, I mean, it's, as you said, some people just seem to have it. As soon as I started reading non-dualism, I didn't sit there going, straight away it seemed quite normal to me.
Yeah, fair enough.
makes a lot of sense. What stuff's manifesting out of groundless being?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, for me it was more like pointing out that it was all coming back to us, and coming back to see, what was thinking, what was talking, what was getting upset, what was getting depressed, and, you know, suicidal, what had suicidal thoughts. You know, it was just happening here, just to see what was doing that. And I couldn't find anything. You don't wait for an answer, but you just don't find anything here inside this body, like little entity locked in, doing the comedy, playing a guitar, like a drums, and doing metal stuff, you know. Music happens, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe that silence in between, and without that silence in between the notes, music couldn't be heard, wouldn't exist, I presume. So
completely. That's where I learned. That's where I learned to do such good timing in comedy, from music and understanding the space bit.
Yeah.
See, that's when I used to think, when I didn't have musos that didn't. When I used to say before, you just don't get it. I've been with a lot of musos and performers. They don't understand that space bit.
Yeah.
Right. They don't. So when I first heard U2, when they were very young, the first couple of albums, those guys seemed to understand that space bit straight away.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, they knew how to sit there sort of telepathically, and because if you're an actor in a play, but you've got only one line, in one way you've got the hardest job, because you can't drop character when you're not speaking. So you've got to be fully engaged, fully involved, fully performing, fully there. And then when does your line come? Well, better come there. Perfect. Right. Like, so you can't be not engaged while this is going on. It's not like you sit there as an actor and text, well, is it my line? Oh, right. but I've known musicians like that, who sort of gets to this bit, they're bored. You know, it's not enough action going on for them sometimes in the music, so they're bored.
Yeah.
And why are they bored? Because they're only excited by the space when it's filled. Yes. Right. They don't like to sit in the nothing. Not knowing that the nothing is the very basis of where everything they're doing is coming.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's so when you can sit in there relaxed, it's easier to go. It goes there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like, you feel it.
Yeah.
There. That's where it goes. See? And of course it makes an impact because it comes out, doesn't it? I mean, some comedians, they just can't stop talking. Have you ever seen those comedians just getting on the bus, and you're sitting there and you're on the bus and they just keep talking? These comedians that never really stop talking, they're on stage and they never stop. And you listen to them, they just go like this. You know what else has been happening to me? It's just, all right, you just give me a fucking break. It's like a thrash metal album. So there's no gaps. Right? There's no gaps. Hardcore metal records have no gaps. So that's what a heavy metal record is. There's no air in this.
This is where you have to listen to Enya afterwards, is it?
Yeah, exactly. It's some space.
Enya with the waterfall.
Yeah. And so here's the funny thing. People think, recording those Enya albums, I mean, that's why another thing I love about them, because they're masterful recordings. Like, I mean, I know if you don't know anything about recording, you don't know anything about recording. But you don't just go in there and press record and go, sing, Enya. Got it. Let's put it out.
That's it.
There's genius guys there who know how to make it.
Yeah.
What's masterful about Enya is it sounds like filled up space that's empty but full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said.
Because it's so massive, but it sounds empty.
Yeah.
Like you can crawl around in it, but it's going, whoa, like, where is it?
But the Slayer, when you listen to the Slayer first for like 7 hours, as you said, and then
which I don't anymore, obviously. But,
oh, it's just gone.
Yeah, but when you listen to the Slayer, yeah, you know where that's coming from. Where there.
And then Enya is like empty space afterwards.
Yeah. And then you get to sit in a big cosmic hammock. Just. Yeah, but I know what you mean. So, see, a joke like that description.
Yeah.
That any description, you know, sounds like silence coloured in. See, that's one of those jokes where you can give to one of those audiences that don't have a.
Yeah.
And they don't. It's what? Mate, you wouldn't be surprised when you hear people go, "What's an Enya?" That's how like, you know, when you're into things, you just take it for granted. Maybe it's just the way all humans are, that people know what you know, you know, and that you suddenly, you know, I seem to know a lot of stuff about underground art and, you know, poets and beat poets, and American beat poets and Bukowskis and filmmakers and underground punk and metal and music and new wave and dark wave and underground and trip hop and things and dance and music and weird cultures where people go and take acid and dance under moonlit. I've been to all these things, and I've been to gigs with guys with pigs' heads on spikes with blood all over them, and I met shamans and did all this stuff and done all this stuff, and you just suddenly think people know about these things. And then you realize, no, they don't. They don't. They know about, like you said, the mortgage and the how's Auntie Sue, and my sister Joan's husband's not very well, and you know, and it's not. I'm not mocking them. It's life, you know. It maybe didn't come from me because I come from a dysfunctional family, so I don't really have a really connected family. So that part of life doesn't really exist for me, right? So it's just what is, but. But don't have that life and then sit there with Defiance telling me that that stuff couldn't be happening. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just admit what you don't think that there's stuff going on in the world? Did I miss the day that someone sent around the pamphlet that said empires no longer happen on Earth? Do you think this stuff has stopped people? You know, like, what makes you think it stopped? When do you think it stopped? When they brought in acid and hippies? Yeah, that's why they brought them in. There you go. Right. Oh, we'll flog you now with what? With ideologies through the institutions of what? Well, women's rights and abortion and homosexuality and, you know, rah 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 and rah 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 and rah. I'm on the side of all the people I probably would have been against as a teenager and a young metalhead. Christians, conservatives, because they're the new radicals. And I'm not a Christian, and I don't go for hardcore fundamentalist Christianity. And then the Roman Catholic Church is what you're all fucking indentured to anyway. It's you know, with their global fucking tentacles. What do you think the Roman Catholic Church is? It's Rome turned into the church. Yes. which now gives you what? Well, damn near, you know, salvation. No. Right. Or hell. Yeah. And if you don't believe us, we'll come and burn you to death. Right? But, you know, the Muslims do that too. They had a crack at that. Let's go over there. Right. Yeah. You know, and then if you get back into deep conspiracy theory world, you find, they all got created by the same bunch. Yeah. You know, there's a great guy now on YouTube called Robert Seffer who just does history. He knows what's going on in the world. He doesn't shy away from what's going on, but it's brilliant history. Yeah. History, well documented stuff into, you know, dragon bloodlines, you know, ancient European tribes you've never heard of, what they did, where they came from, how lots of, you know, the Celts come out of Iran, and where the blonde eyes and the blue eyes and the blood comes from, and who went to where, and why these people live over there, stuff you've never heard about, because all you know about is they did that and they did that, and then Hitler did this, and that's where it's got to.
Wow. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, he's got just tons of videos. They're really well made. He's really well spoken, and it's just fucking in depth, and it's fucking, you know.
Yeah.
And you just, you know, as I said, you don't know what you don't know. But you know, when I'm sitting there watching this mainstream herd just fucking bleat back at me, thinking the more, and especially when they go, oh well, you know, what's going to happen to me is, am I going to get the 5G cheese robots that Bill Gates is going to make me go and live on the moon? Is that's your argument as an adult? You're a fucking 10-year-old. You're a 10-year-old.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
You're a fucking child.
Yeah.
Especially when it's something so what could be detrimental to you, your children, the entire fucking planet.
Yeah.
And you're like a child.
Yeah.
Just one, and sometimes I do. I look around. It's almost like there's like a split. Where I almost go, I'm not even like these fucking creatures anymore.
No, no.
And yet I still want to maintain, without being arrogant, a sense of brotherly, sisterly love to them and the sense of humanity. But I'm an arrogant tyrant, really. There's that part of me. I have to look at it all the time, you know, work on it. I need some help, I think, maybe some kind of direction of shaman, because I don't know if I'm always, but I take more responsibility for it now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, doesn't matter. It's your uniqueness. There's nothing wrong with it. It's good to be that way. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No. I mean,
yeah.
I also look at things, you know. I used to argue with these guys, you know. Sorry.
No worries.
Hang on. I always put those.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I remember I used to talk to these guys who are like science heads, you know. The hardcore science heads have always spun me out. Right? They're like, it just seems, you know, ridiculous.
It does. Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. What? Well, so you're anti-science, are you, Steve? Well, I have an electric guitar and I speak through microphones, so no. Right. I flush toilets and cook in ovens and ride in cars. So no, I wouldn't say I'm particularly anti-science. And why would I just be anti something that is? Right?
Yeah.
But if you think I'm going to bow down to it like it's some god that has managed to, through a microscope, pick apart matter and tell me what's going on, then yeah, I can see the universe. Oh, look, it's in there.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Bow to that.
I got a feeling that I would rather go and meet a bunch of, you know, I hope I get this cultural reference right, Ethiopian Dogon tribe people. I hope I got the tribe and the country right, if anyone's listening and I didn't. But, you know, and maybe I wouldn't be advanced enough to go into their ritual because I'm not from there, you know.
Yeah.
I think we lack a sense of sacredness now. See, progressives hold no sacredness, right? So they don't understand that things are sacred. That's why they can promote abortion and all cheer as the divine women cheer infanticide. They can't even see the satanic, because it's been given to them as rights.
Yes.
Rights, right?
Yeah.
You know, and now they don't even see the divine mistake here, the satanic manifestation of what the collective of women, the divine mothers, cheering as they're now allowed to kill unborn children. Yeah. Freedom. Freedom. It's like a satanic ritual. So everything's inverted.
It's just crazy.
You never think to look at your society and go, why is there so many people either wanting abortions or getting pregnant too much, or why is every 28-year-old woman seem to have 2 kids but no fucking boyfriend?
Oh, yes, it's a massive thing.
Well, there you go, sexual liberation. There you go. Now you've got it. You've got sexual liberation. Here you go. Because everything you told before, how come men can be studs and women get called sluts?
Yeah.
Well, who knows? Who knows? But there was also a part of it of what society going, it's more dangerous for women to just have sex. Why? Because if they get pregnant, we've got lots and lots of children with no fathers and stuff like this.
Yeah.
So, you know, men can just can just spurt seed out, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so that's why I want to go, okay, let's have a reality TV show, shall we? Because you know, now the gays hate the heteronormatives. Now you hate this. Now you hate us. The irony being, of course, is that we make you. Who do you think mates homosexuals? Well, heterosexuals.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are you going to do without us?
Yeah. Yeah, like that dude, what's his name? Kardashian dude, whatever, I don't know his name, but he had 3 women. He was married like 3 times and he had children and he calls himself chick now, whatever, you know. Like, hello, how could he have had children, you know? It's just
right. So it's
it.
insanity, right? So it's like some kind of Hieronymus Bosch painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the psychological, spiritual landscape, it's it's an orgiastic feast of just subjective desire set about upon a palette of just what. Don't let anything be, because if you mock it, therefore you must be against it, and somehow, you know.
Yes.
Filled with hate, right? So now you need to tolerate the intolerable.
Yes. Yeah, and you have to, because I like had Netflix like for a month. Sometimes I have a friend of mine has what's on Netflix is just like 2 dudes or 2 chicks, like you can't see anything. It was a Grammys the other day and they were just these women, fat flabby women dancing, and the money was thrown into them like it was just in peak TV, and 2 chicks were kissing or 3 chicks were kissing.
Yeah. So
it's okay to watch that for our children, but it's not normal to see a guy and a chick kissing. Give me a break. Sorry, am I crazy? I don't know. I don't get it.
No, and also it's not just that it's bad for your children; it's that you're not allowed to say it's bad for your children.
Well, yeah, exactly. See,
because you're discrimination.
Yeah.
Right. So here's the psychological war. They're going to the subjective war. Why I came out about PC so early? Why? Because eventually you won't be able to go anywhere. Why? Because you're in a subjective world space. Where you go, what? Well, I can't speak. I better not speak about shark attacks in case I offend someone who's ever been attacked by a shark.
Yeah.
Even though apparently just talking about it apparently offends them all. We didn't ask them, but apparently it just does.
Yeah.
And here's the funny thing. All these people go, I'm offended. Here's the funny thing. I don't even think you are. You're just bleating. You're just bleating the reaction. You're not even offended. It's the same way you hate Donald Trump. You hate Donald Trump the same way you love Beyonce.
Yeah.
Because they told you to.
They told you to.
People walk up to me now, and if they look at me and they start to say one thing, I can already work out what they're into in about 1 second now. Right? Because they're just a bleating book. I support trans rights and LGBT rights and women's rights and that. I'm a male feminist and blah, blah, blah. I hate Donald Trump. And then when that all goes away, they move on to the next thing.
Yes.
They didn't even mean anything anymore. Donald Trump's gone away now. Is it? Oh, it's gone away now.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just really bothering them for some reason. Donald Trump, nothing seemed to bother them 20 years ago when Dick Cheney and George Bush were bombing 1 million Iraqis to death and telling them they had poison and that. No, I was there doing comedy about it. None of them were. Where were you? Where were you all freaking out? None of you were freaking out. You're doing jokes about your girlfriend's got too many shoes. And now you're all sitting there hating Donald Trump.
Yes. Yeah.
Why? Oh, he slapped a woman on the ass at a party in the 70s. Did he?
Yeah. Yeah.
I slapped my Canadian mate's wife on the ass last week in front of him.
Yeah.
She was bent over in jeans in the kitchen picking something up. So
yeah. Yeah.
She didn't cry and run to her room. She laughed.
Yeah.
And then my mate laughed and we had soup.
No, I don't get it. I said to people here, like, I went to see Donald Trump before he was elected. He was talking about it at the time. He was going to, you know, to run for president. And I thought he was joking. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, then he was talking about Rosie, what's her name? The Rosie.
Oh yeah, that was the funny one. That was
so
joke.
funny. Oh, that was the best. He told her like off in a good way.
Was that Rosie O'Donnell?
Yes, Rosie O'Donnell. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was that great line he came back with where some reporter went up to him. He goes, "Didn't you call all women pigs?" He went, "No, just Rosie O'Donnell."
That's what he said over there.
That was a good one, John. That's a
good one. I love it. Yeah. I mean,
see,
you know,
so I know people go say, "Do you think Donald Trump's all right?" Do you, Steve? I don't know what Donald Trump says. I don't know who Donald Trump is, really, right? I don't know. My gut says, but my gut could be wrong, and also I don't, you know. I've been down rabbit holes, so I don't know. Is he a Jesuit? Is he a fucking Zionist? Is he fucking who knows? You know, I've been in conspiracy theory world enough now to know you don't just jump in. Have you read this? Right. You got to wait.
Yeah, I don't know. He wasn't much.
Sometimes they get me because they, you know.
Yeah.
It's like they emotionalize everyone. How? Show enough cops shooting black guys, you know, enough.
Yeah.
And you know, you'll get me sometimes. Why? Because your own compassion gets used against you. No one likes to see anything. No one would like to see cops or anyone shooting puppies in the head or children or anyone in the head.
Oh, yeah.
No one would like to see this, right? So your humanity comes up.
Yeah.
You know, well, most people wouldn't like to see this. Psychopaths and who people that don't give a shit or something, right? But we're talking, you know, the general consensus of what we all have a feeling, don't we? But we really don't want to, you know, do we really need to be taught to bash people in the fucking head with, you know? You kind of cotton on, you don't do that, don't you? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have a humanity amongst us, you know?
Yeah.
And I think they know how to what? Well, they subvert it. So they know it's real. Same as they know that everything is all one, because they know what non-dualism is. They're functioning from that realm, from the occultic realm, except through the occultic realm. But it's all non-dualism.
Yeah.
They know what non-dualism is. From the mystery schools and ancient Egypt and all that fucking stuff. It's all non-dualism. It's all enlightenment, Kundalini, fucking awakenings and trees of life and mandalas and fucking, but done in either satanic rituals or inverted, and how to get power and chi and vril and, you know, different, you know, all that vril energy, which is probably just chi, what the Indians use, and I mean the Chinese and and so if you look deep into all these even monotheistic religions, then you find the mystics in there. It's all non-dualism. Christian mystics are all non-dual. Hindu mystics are all non-dual. I bet Jewish mystics are all non-dual. I bet Zionism understands non-dualism. Don't think these fuckers don't understand non-dualism.
Yeah, well, that's ancient, like
it's ancient.
He knew it. So yeah.
So you know,
yeah,
that's what's so funny. You know, people seem to think. People seem to think people from the past were stupid or something.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the same way we always think that the previous generation was stupid or something, you know.
Even if you look at kids' cartoons, look at the propaganda. If they show someone from the past, what would be the right past? I'll show a dumb caveman with a club in his hand and a chicken bone or something. Go, which as a kid just automatically programs you what? Well, people from behind.
Yeah.
They can't be smarter than now.
Yeah. Can't be smarter.
Why? Because they don't have a PlayStation.
Yeah.
But they built that cathedral.
Yeah.
How? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like look at what they've done in Egypt, and so perfect, like the pyramids and stuff, how they built them.
And also there's things like, you know, we see pyramids and we see this stuff, but then if you go into like this guy I watch and you watch deeper stuff, there's so many other things around the world that no one's ever seen. Except the people who are there, and you know, those huge temples that, you know, the mainstream has never shown you.
Yeah.
Huge jeweled underground caves in Iran and things that is, you know, because they're not on the National Geographic 7 Wonders of the World. Know that in, you know, I didn't know yesterday in Thailand, it's only 40 miles out of Bangkok, I think.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it. There's a tower there, this big building, and there's a dragon wrapped around the whole thing, like never seen it. It's massive, like a huge dragon wrapped around it. It's a big head comes over. Do you believe in lizard people, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's whatever they present to us. It's like Big Brother, you know, you watch Big Brother, and sometimes they make some person perfect to the date when they decide to kick them out.
Oh, completely.
When they decide